I am a person with single-sided deafness, although I started doing research on hearing and hearing impairment when I had two perfectly normal ears, and it's only about 5 years ago that I lost the hearing in one ear as a result of acoustic neuroma. We can perceive sound both through the sound that enters the ear canal in a normal way and causes the eardrum to vibrate, and via an internal path through the bones of the head. And when you hear sounds through the bones of your head, that's what's called bone conduction. Bone conducted sound can get into the inner ear in a number of different ways, and it's quite a complex process that still isn't fully understood. But it has been known for a long time that you can create a sensation of sound in this way by vibrating the skull in many different positions, and that's actually used in audiological testing, that you can apply a bone vibrator that shakes the skull, and then the person will hear the sound mainly by bone conduction rather than through the air traveling down and vibrating the eardrums. There's another piece of information that we use to localize sounds, and that's to do with the way that the sound reflects from the pinna, the flap on the outside. What happens is that when a sound enters the ear, some of it gets directly into the ear canal, and some of it gets reflected from the folds of the pinna and then gets into the ear canal after reflection. And that creates a complex pattern of sound that the brain is able to use to estimate where the sound is coming from. Now, the SoundBite can potentially take advantage of those effects because of the microphone being placed at the entrance to the ear canal. So it's picking up the sound that would normally enter the ear canal and including the reflections of the sound from the pinna. Now, an advantage of the SoundBite system is that you can get actually quite high fidelity sound transmission in this way. It's a very efficient way of creating a bone vibration signal, and it can work over a wide frequency range. So you get a very natural, clear sound quality and working over a wide frequency range. So one of the comments of people using it is the high quality of the sound that they receive. There are alternatives to the SoundBite, but one of the alternatives that has been used quite widely involves surgery, and many people are unhappy about the idea of needing surgery, and so they will much prefer the SoundBite because no surgery is needed. You just have this part that clips on a tooth. You can remove it whenever you want, and so it's completely safe. A fair number of people who have single-sided deafness have had surgery recently in connection with losing their hearing. And in my own case, I had radiation therapy, but many people have surgery for acoustic neuroma or for other kinds of things. And it's that following the surgery, they've got the single-sided deafness, and the last thing they want is more surgery. So a treatment method that avoids surgery is really important to them, and I think that's a big plus of the SoundBite. Many hearing devices nowadays, whether it's a hearing aid, a cochlear implant, or some other kind of hearing device, have batteries in them, and often you have to replace the batteries. In some cases, quite often, the batteries might only last a couple of days, so that's a nuisance. The SoundBite has the advantage of having a rechargeable battery that you can recharge overnight, and that's, I think, a convenient thing. You're not having to constantly buy new batteries and replace them, and it's also eco-friendly. Nowadays, people are more worried about disposing of batteries. They've got nasty toxic substances in them, so I think it's more friendly for the environment to have a system where the batteries are rechargeable, and it's more convenient for the user as well. Well, I think it's important to explain to patients what benefits they're likely to get from a system like the SoundBite. And I think many people with single-sided deafness may have been told in the past, well, there's not much that can be done for you by their GP or their audiologist. And people need to be made aware that there are new things like the SoundBite that can help them. I think it's important to give realistic expectations. People need to be told this can help for certain types of situations. It will help you hear someone talking on your deaf side. It will help you when you're at a dinner party. It may help you when you're listening in a car. It's not going to restore things like it was if you had two normal ears before. It's not going to bring things completely back to normal, and it's not going to help in every situation, but it could be a big help in some situations. So it can make your life better, and that's worth doing.